Alright, quick update on Bitcoin. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the confirmed bounce that we've just had. We're also going to be talking about the exponential increase in volume that we're witnessing at this moment in time. And I'm also just going to quickly touch on the dollar. I have just made a separate video about this, so when I talk about the dollar, it's really going to be like 10 seconds or so towards the end of the video. So let's jump right in. As you can see on the 4-hourly time frame, over on Bybit, we've just had an insane amount of volume traded. I believe 25,000 Bitcoin was just sold. If we look at the 4-hourly candle, you can see in the past 4 hours, 34,000 Bitcoin has been traded, which is very exponential compared to what we've been seeing. And where do I get the 25,000 from? You can see if I look over at the volume, or if you look over at the volume in the top left of the screen, when you hover your cursor over a particular candle, it will tell you how much volume was bought or sold. And within these two candles alone, we've got 10.98, so basically 11, let's call it 11, plus 13.2, so let's call it 13. So 11,000 Bitcoin sold plus 13,000 Bitcoin sold. That is 24,000 Bitcoin sold in literally the past 2 to 3 hours. That is really something. But what happened after this Bitcoin was sold? Because, you know, we've been looking, I've been saying this in my Discord, you know, people asked me, you know, why have I not taken the trade on Bitcoin yet? Because I did say if I did see a volume confirmed bounce on Bitcoin and then breaking above the invalidation point, that is where I want to make my trade. And about 8 hours ago, I said, you know, when we were coming up here, I said I haven't entered my long yet, but I have picked Bitcoin up on spot because of what I saw on the dollar. And I'm really only going to spend 10 minutes on this chart because I did make an in-depth video about it. But, you know, looking at this on the 4-hour, we were channeling to the downside, and now the dollar has broken down. We still do have a tiny bit of support coming in around 101.9, then we've got 101.7, and then obviously the psychological level 100. That is the target to beat until we capitulate below, you know, these levels, 1 level here, 2 level here, the 3 levels here. I just gave you the price targets on. Then I would not be going, you know, all in on Bitcoin. I'm still sitting on the sidelines. I still think it can get a lot bloodier, especially if the dollar decides to bounce from these lows, because, you know, you can see if you zoom out, this was where the triple top, or where at least I believe the triple top is going to be playing out. And we do have support on the bottom of these previous double tops. So if we do find support at 101.9, or let's say 101.7 down here, we could still have a bounce. So I'm still being very cautious. I am almost, I don't want to say so, I'm certain, but I feel very confident that the dollar could have topped out in the macro term. It's obviously topped out in the local term, but in the higher time frames, we're still unsure. I'm still sure enough for me to pick up some Bitcoin on spot. So I did buy some Bitcoin on spot today. Like I said, if you do want updates when I personally do, you know, accumulate, or when I buy altcoins, etc., head over to the Discord. The link will be in the description down below. I did make an announcement about that earlier. I have also said, you know, I have still not entered along, but we're starting to see what I wanted to see, and that's what I want to talk about in this video. So I really just pulled up this Bybit chart so we can see and, you know, recognize 34,000 Bitcoin bought and sold in the past 4 hours. This was the volume that we needed to confirm this bounce. Obviously the volume taking us down to the bounce is perfect. As long as we bounce from that trend line, that's what we wanted to see. And now we're seeing volume coming in the past hour, almost 5.4k volume traded in the last hour. Now, the new volume candle has just opened in literally the past 2 minutes or so. Since I started recording this video, it wasn't open, but it has opened now. So what do we need to see for Bitcoin to go to these higher price targets? Because in my previous videos, I did say, you know, if we come up, we hit the top here, we come back, back test with volume supporting the bounce, and then we take out the invalidation point. If you want to know where the invalidation point is, it is where we previously topped out in the past 12 hours or so. It is approximately at 30,660, so let's call it 30,700. Once we start pushing up above 30,700, I will be doing a 10x leverage long trade, and I already told you my price targets on this in the previous video. I have my eyes on the 0.5 Fibonacci at 33,600. I also have my eyes on the price target of this pattern right here. You can see this was, well, depending on, I mean, you can even remove this trend line and you can say this is the price target of this asymmetrical triangle if that's your thing, or also they're the exact same target, so it does not matter. You've also got this asymmetrical triangle type pattern right here. Like I said, absolutely does not matter which one you're drawing from, they are the exact same target. That would be coming in at 34,300. So like I said, first take profit 0.5, 33,600. My next take profit will be coming up to 34,300 and also 35,100 at the 618 Fibonacci. Bear in mind, I'm drawing this fib from the most recent move from the high to the low. If we come up to, 34, 35,000 and get rejected, we are still bearish. So this is a short-term trade that I'm looking at making. Be very, very cautious if you're looking at leverage trading Bitcoin at this moment in time. I am leverage trading, or I am getting ready for this leverage trade with a small amount of my portfolio. Less than a 1% allocation. That is how I do my trades on my channel. The spot Bitcoin that I bought though, that will be a much higher allocation of my portfolio. That is getting slapped into a hardware wallet. I do not care if we go down to 10k. I do not care if we go up to 250k. That Bitcoin is not exiting that wallet anytime soon. So that's basically it. Also, just one last thing. No, okay, so the EMA ribbons also at 35,800 will be an area of resistance. I'm obviously not targeting that high, but I did want to show you this chart very quickly. So in the macro term, yes, we are seeing a short-term bounce. Yes, the chart does look good. And yes, if we break above 30,700, there could be a very, very high likelihood that we go between the price targets of 33,500 and 35,100. But are we out of the water if we come up to there? Absolutely not. Like I said, this is your 618 Fibonacci. If all we do is come up to 35 and get rejected, you have a textbook rejection, and that is normally the point in time where you would roll back down and you would go all the way down and make new lows. Because, if you've been watching my channel, I've been saying, at least in my opinion, I think that we would be coming down to 22,000, but I've also been very adamant. I've been buying Bitcoin at 29,000. I've been buying Bitcoin at 25,500. I've basically been buying all the Bitcoin that I possibly can while we are in these capitulation ranges. So I really just wanted to highlight, if we do come up to 34,000, even if we come up to, 37, 38,000, if we get rejected, we are still bearish. Absolutely nothing would have changed if we come up to these price targets. You can still see, I mean, from this high down to this low, a move up to 38,700 would simply be a bearish retest of the 0.5 if we turn back down. So there's a plethora of macro resistances above our head. We definitely need to be careful. You can see that we're not seeing, a macro reversal, at least at this moment in time. So be very, very cautious. RSI as well looks like it wants to start turning up, which is a beautiful sign. Pairing that with the fact that the dollar is topping out in the local term, at least, I would absolutely love to see the dollar capitulate below 100. I would then love to see the Bitcoin RSI break above 40 to 42 on the weekly time frame. And why would I want to see that? Well, very, very simply, you zoom out. This RSI downtrend was the bear market of 2018. What happened as soon as we poked our head above the RSI? Because the RSI broke out before the price, so bear that in mind. The RSI can build up strength while we're trading sideways for the next couple of weeks, but if we do break out of this trend line, the last time we broke out of this trend line was down here. We were still in this accumulation range at 3,600, and we went all the way up to 69,000. So be very, very cautious. Like I said, I am going to be making this trade if we do take out 30,700. Best of luck if you are looking to trade at these times. Obviously, no guarantees from the management. As always, cowboy out, not financial advice, and most importantly, peace.